Hello, my name is William French, and I will be talking about conflict in a church. At the church, we have a dream team volunteers, we have dream leader volunteers. On this day, kids did what they normally do. Parents went with them to get checked in. Dream team volunteers were walking around the room and keeping on everyone. Dream leaders were getting ready for the Sunday. A boy was a little too close, and the blue shirt was a little too close to the group on the right, and he was saying gummy bear. The girls were starting to cry, getting upset, because they thought he called them a gummy bear. About 2 minutes went by, and the leaders noticed something, and the leader went over to see the kids and the girls and found out what was going on. But he did not realize that the parent was already standing there watching the whole thing happen. The dream team leader apologized for the situation, and he listened to both sides of the story and found out that the boy was standing too close to them and the girls had a misunderstanding. Something very simple. The parent was still in shock of the situation and grabbed their child and put him in their arms. All she wanted was an apology, and the boy agreed to apology with no tears. Dream Leader was very glad that the situation was handled calmly and it wasn't pulled over out of proportion that it needed to be. But the situation, he was very nervous about what was going on. A few minutes later, the boy and the blue shirt's parents came. One thing that the dream leader did not think of is the boy's parents part of the dream team volunteers. And to come to find out, the boy's parents was part of the dream team volunteers. And she was very in shock and frustrated because her child doesn't do anything wrong. And to furthermore, to point out that the dream team leader stopped her in front of the stage and talked to her about the situation and explained to her what had happened. And she said, "My child doesn't do anything wrong. This is the first time he does something. There should be an encouragement experience, and let's not do this again. Not in trouble like school time and bring him down some. There should have been a learning experience, and encouragement was given." And they had a disagreement on that. And he tried to explain to her the point was that he was too close to the girls. But she quickly turned this around to the situation that the leader is pulling and being rude to her child. And that was not the situation going on. The leader does their best not to pick on anyone in the church, but she pointed out she felt like you pulled my child to the side, you stopped me at the stage, and people are watching us. And the leader didn't see it that way. To furthermore, she pointed out that he's crying and now he's not wanting to come anymore. That was not the intention of the leader situation. His whole point was to just let the leader be the dream teamer to be aware what was happening. And the dream leader was surprised at how the parent turned things around as though he didn't care about her child. They had a disagreement, and the dream leader encouraged her to go talk to his boss and see if he can get some resolution since we're not going to agree. And the dream teamer said we could go together, but the dream leader knew his responsibility was that he had to stay in the service. He could not just leave his position. So the parent did go talk to the elementary and preschool church ministry advisor, and they chatted. And she asked the boy, "Would you be willing to give us one more try, even though he was crying?" And the boy said, "Okay." As a resolution, next Sunday, the boy was back in church, ready to go, and he checked in. My supervisor over the ministry took time and tried to do the 1.1 neutralize the maintain at all costs, withdraw behind walls and installations to relieve the necessity for dealing with situations that could arouse conflict. She realized the conflict could happen if she chooses not to come back to the church, the kid not wanting to come back to the church. She thought those through, and she went back to the leader and explaining that you don't always have to be in reason, try to do the 9.9, have good points and try to find some compromises. You don't always have to do that. Sometimes you just have to take it. It's a bad and good. It was a bad situation that what happened to the leader, but bad situations sometimes happen. It doesn't matter who's wrong or right. Sometimes in the church, it's about getting things resolved and to keep having those groups and friendship to get things accomplished. In the situation, my style I normally use did not work. I had to use a different style, which I didn't use, but my supervisor did to keep the harmony in the group. And that's something that's hard to do. And saying that, learning different styles can get the job done. Thank you so much for listening. All credits to Google Slides and Google Images